Chapter 5 The Grandmother. A brilliant light shone from the mountains, so bright that no one could look into it. Everyone shielded their eyes as the brightness touched everything. Slowly the brightness began to dim, revealing the outline of a figure. At the same time, the skies brightened and night started to become day. As the light continued to dim, her features became visible. She had short, white hair. One side of it was plaited, and the other was a beautiful mess of frizzy curls. It was as though her hair had only been half done, but that was how she was. Even her head was a demonstration of the balance in life. Without chaos, there would not be order, and without order, there would be no chaos. The dark and the light, the good and the bad, opposites that only exist because of the other. Her dark skin radiated a youthfulness, but she had wrinkles around her eyes and the corners of her mouth. She liked to call them smile lines. She did a lot of smiling. The crowd in the background began murmuring, "It's the grandmother! It's the grandmother of all things!" Simon, Kenny and Sarah stood up from where they had been thrown on the ground. Sarah asked the lady, "Who are you?" The lady smiled and walked towards them, an aura of brightness still glowing around her. The Snugglewumps fell back and bowed. "Who I am, or what I am, is not important. I am just a messenger, a representation," the lady said, slowly walking towards them and then circling. "A representation of what?" asked Simon. "Of everything that exists in this world and the world beyond." "But how?" Kenny started to ask. "The how is not important," she interrupted, gently placing a hand on Kenny's shoulder and looking at each of them individually. "I'm not important, but you three are." All three of them looked at each other, not sure what she meant. "You three are the only ones who can save Nubaganda." "I don't understand," said Simon, scrunching up his nose and sniffling. "Why us?" "It was written in the stars long ago," the lady began, taking her hand off of Kenny's shoulder and walking to the guards in the background. "The 3 orbs that were cast across the land when Nubaganda was invaded are the key to restoring balance. But 3 orbs can only be collected by 3 who are joined by blood with the purest of hearts. These 3 are you." "So what do we have to do?" asked Sarah. "You must go and search out these orbs and return them to the mountain palace. It is only when they are placed back together that Nubaganda will once again be free. But you must hurry, for there are scouts out looking for these orbs, and they wish to destroy them. This cannot happen, because without all 3 of the orbs, we will be lost forever." "Where should we start to look?" Simon asked, feeling as though he should take the lead with being the oldest. "The orbs have fallen across the 3 lands of Nubaganda," she began, painting a map on the rock face behind them. "There are the wild jungles to the west, the dry, scorching desert to the east, and the frozen plains of the Arctic to the south. In the middle, there is a vast ocean." "And what's north?" Sarah asked, always inquisitive. "North is where the mountains lie. It is where the orbs once were, all together, up in the highest mountain. Now the mountains have been taken over by Planko and his army, who are known as the Pollution. Their tentacles of evil are slowly extending their way across the lands, leaving behind destruction and killing off everything. Soon, I fear, it will be too late, and we will all be consumed by this evil." "But how are we supposed to help? And where are we?" Kenny asked, still confused as to what was happening. "Ah yes, 2 of you haven't been here for too long. This is Nubaganda, the land of dreams. It is a place that exists beyond your world, but one that only children can visit when they sleep." Sarah and Kenny looked at each other, and then at Simon, who nodded, having already heard the story. "So where is everyone else who is dreaming?" Kenny asked. "Not everyone finds this land, and only children under the age of 13 can visit." "What happens after that?" Sarah asked. "The door for them is closed forever." "Oh," began Sarah. "But Simon, you're almost 13. "And that is why you must hurry," the grandmother continued. "Now," she said, turning to the crowd, "all of you must go back to your homes before the spies notice what has happened. Spread the word. Hope is on its way, and these three may need your help. Now quick, go." There was a stampede of hooves, claws, and paws, the ruffle of feathers, and the flapping of wings, as the weird and wonderful creatures departed. When the crowd had departed, apart from the Snugglewump that stood beside Sarah, and the Grecken, which stood next to Simon, the grandmother turned to the trio. "It looks as though you've made some friends," she began, gesturing to the Snugglewump and the Grecken, and smiling. "But it doesn't appear that any of you have made the transformation just yet." "The transformation?" asked Simon. "Yes, the moment of revelation that you are more than just yourself. Don't worry, it will come in good time," she continued, walking amongst them. "But," began Kenny. "It is not for me to say," she interrupted, holding up her hand. "You will find out when the time calls for it. But now you must go," she said seriously. "Being too long in one place is not safe." She turned and the bright light returned once again, surrounding her. Her feet left the ground and she began floating to the sky. "Remember, time here in Nubaganda is not the same as time from where you have come from. Once you wake, time here stops. Now go, the Orbs," she finished, pointing to the west. As she disappeared into the distance, beyond the mountains, the three of them looked at one another. "So what do you think?" Simon asked. "I don't know," Sarah began hesitantly. "Let's go!" exclaimed Kenny excitedly, always ready for adventure. "It'll be fun!" He turned and looked at Sarah. "Okay," she conceded, "but only if Snugglewump can come with us," she said, as she wrapped her arms around its neck and gave it another cuddle. "What about that thing?" Kenny asked Simon, pointing to the winged creature. "Oh, this is Tigra," he said, patting its orange body. "It's a Grecken." "And how do you know that?" Kenny asked, always curious. "Dimitri the Bumble told me about them. Then one day when we were out scouting around for things, this one flew down, and because it was so friendly, I decided to call him Tigra. Ever since, he hasn't been too far away," Simon babbled in his usual aloof manner. "How long have you been here?" Sarah asked. "Well, I've been coming here for a few weeks now, but each time I'm here, it can last for days. We better start moving." He turned to Tigra. Tigra sneezed and a few bubbles escaped from his nose. "Ha ha! Look, bubbles!" Sarah exclaimed. "Aw, are you getting sick, Tigra?" Simon asked. Tigra looked at Simon with a sad face and gently nodded. "You better go and get rest," Simon said, looking into Tigra's eyes. Tigra gently nudged his head into Simon's chest. "I know," Simon said reassuringly, stroking Tigra's head. "But you need to go, and we need to go. I'll see you soon. You can come and find us." Tigra snorted through his beak, blinked, and then took off and flew into the mountains. The trio began walking, not really knowing where they were going, but prepared for an adventure.